Phylum number 7 is Arthropoda. Arthropods have a hard outer covering called an exoskeleton. Those of you that play video games have probably heard exoskeleton a lot. So these creatures actually have one of those. And this exoskeleton is made of a material called chitin. And when they need to grow out of their old exoskeleton, they then shed this, and this is called molting. And so they're going to shed this old exoskeleton, whether it's just kind of worn out or whatever the deal is, and this is called molting, and then they replace it with a new exoskeleton, again made of this chitin. There are 3 classes of arthropods, okay? You have the crustacea or crustaceans, and these are going to be your delicious sea creatures like crab and shrimp, etc., and lobster. The second class is arachnida, and these are, everyone already knows what arachnids are. They are spiders. And so you've heard of arachnophobia. That's somebody who's afraid of spiders. Okay. Then you have the class Insecta, and these are all of your insects. Now just remember, looking at this picture on the bottom right, not all insects are creepy bugs. Insects include butterflies, moths, ladybugs, dragonflies, etc. This shows you kind of a family tree of arthropods. If you're interested, you could pause this and go through this and see what all you recognize. Also, just to draw your attention, notice that in arachnida, spiders are not the only thing there. You've also got scorpions and ticks. So, little interesting things to see. And also notice in this crustacea, you have what we used to call doodlebugs. And those are those little roly-polies that you play with outside in the dirt. Let's go ahead and pause the video in just a second to catch up your notes. This is Roman numeral 7, and this is Arthropoda. Notice and remember to write down that they have a hard outer skeleton. There are 3 kinds. You have insects, crustaceans, and arachnids, and then there's examples of each kind. So go ahead and pause the video now and catch your notes up. Our last phylum is Roman numeral 8, and this is phylum Echinodermata. Most living echinoderms are pentameral, and this is an interesting concept that they have. When we're talking about body plans and their lines of symmetry, these guys have a 5-fold symmetry. Okay, they kind of come in 5s, most of them, not all of them. They're always rule breakers. They have rays or arms in 5s or multiples of a 5 as well. So if you want to go ahead and put this down, and then we can go ahead and look at some more. I'll show these to you visually. Echinodermata, these are the ones that have endoskeletons. They have a tube system for feeding and oxygen. They have radial symmetry. And remember, many of them come in groups of 5. They have various body shapes. You have a short star, long star, round, and long tube. And looking at these body shapes, you're probably already starting to get an idea of what these guys are. So go ahead and pause the video, write this down in your notes, and then start the video again to get some visuals of these guys. All right, we're going to kind of go back over this. I guess my video got a little bit out of order. So one, yes, they have an internal skeleton called an endoskeleton, endo meaning inside, okay? They have these fluid-filled tubes for a system that helps them get their food and oxygen. These tubes flow through their bodies, and I think I have a picture of that coming up for you to see. Those fluid-filled tubes are almost kind of like our veins and arteries that go through our body to deliver our different nutrients and our oxygen and such. They also have radial symmetry. Remember that many of these guys come in groups of 5, and they have those different body shapes, that short star, long star, round, and long tube-like. So if you look at this picture up close of the sea star, and remember we're going to use the correct term, it's a sea star, not a starfish, because it's not a fish. You can see the tube areas that are going to go through the sea star's body and through their appendages. This is going to be obtaining food, delivering all that stuff. It's almost like a circulatory, it is their circulatory system, but it's very reminiscent of the one that we have. So again, we're seeing that these animals, these creatures, are getting more and more organized and more developed. Here are various different sea stars. You can see that we said that they don't all follow the rule of 5 because you've got this guy in the top right corner, but many of them do. And so you can see that you've got the long star, short star, etc. This also includes sand dollars and sea urchins, and these are round. And so if you look at this diagram of a sea urchin's body, they have this solid area, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. But then they also have the spines that come out of that. They have tube feet, they have secondary spines, primary spines, and if you look down at the bottom, they even have teeth. Okay, so when you're looking at these pictures, the spines are with them complete, they're alive, and then you see the pictures behind, and that's going to be that harder area, and this is once they are dead and they no longer have the spine sticking out. Then you also have your sea cucumbers. Remember we told you that they could come in a tube body shape. That's like these guys. So clearly they don't come in groups of 5.